This is news. Scientists are now claiming that fears of ancient methane bubbles being released, methane gas being released due to rising temperatures are unfounded. The climate change movement long warned that as global temperatures rise, we run the risk of releasing vast reserves of trapped methane into our atmosphere and bringing about the end of days. Researchers say that's probably not true. Researchers of the University of Rochester in New York studied methane emissions from a period in Earth's history which bears many similarities to our current climate. They examined ice cores taken from the last period of glaciation 8,000 to 15,000 years ago, and by closely examining the air samples extracted from these frozen ice cores, researchers found that even if the methane in these vast stores is released, it won't actually reach our temperature. They said our data shows we don't need to be as concerned about large methane releases from large carbon reservoirs in response to future warming. This is according to Vasily Petrenko, professor of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Rochester. He said we should be more concerned about methane release from human activities. When carbon-based life, plants and animals decay, the remains freeze and the carbon contained within becomes trapped in the permafrost seen across regions including vast swaths of Siberia, Alaska, and northern Canada. Later, when the water in this permafrost melts, the soil becomes waterlogged, creating an ideal breeding ground for microbes that consume the newly thawed carbon, and they produce methane. Meanwhile, in the oceans, methane hydrates, formed under immense pressure at low temperatures, are found in sediments in the ocean floor along the subaquatic borders of the continents. If ocean temperatures rise, the current theory goes, these hydrates will destabilize, releasing the methane gas into the atmosphere, wreaking havoc around the globe. The team took ice core samples from Earth's past, and they wanted to see how much methane from these ancient deposits actually released during periods of warming, and found that the actual amount of emissions from ancient carbon reservoirs was quite small. Quote, the likelihood of these old carbon reservoirs destabilizing and creating a large positive warming feedback in the present day is also low, said Michael Dionysus, a graduate student involved in the research. And instead, the researchers argue that numerous natural buffers, quote unquote, actually prevent the majority of the carbon from reaching the atmosphere. In the case of methane hydrates, most of the greenhouse gas is dissolved and oxidized by microbes in the oceans long before it makes it to the surface. And the same goes for deeper deposits of methane in the permafrost, which the researchers believe are consumed by bacteria in the soil and turned into carbon dioxide. Wonderful. This is Unbended Reality by RT. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.